like to welcome everyone to the 2012 John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame dinner. My name is Chris Wensler. I'm the Assistant Athletic Director here at John Carroll University, a proud member of the class of 1990, and I will be your host for this evening for the ceremonies. Tonight we are honoring both athletic achievement and contribution, and this event continues to be an event that all of us who work in the athletic department look forward to each year. And personally, this is the 23rd dinner which I've been a part of, and I continue to enjoy the significance of this occasion. Tonight is a celebration. Tonight is a validation. And tonight is a crowning achievement. A phrase attributed to Leonardo da Vinci applies on such an occasion. He is purported to have said, "It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things." Our Schweikert Award winner and our 7 Hall of Fame inductees were all cut from that same cloth. They were not idle spectators in their careers that we are celebrating tonight. They did not wait for things to happen. They happened to things. They won national titles. They earned All-American honors. They won major awards and recognition. They made great catches and great shots, or in some cases, stopped great shots. But one thing is for sure, everyone who will take this stage tonight has earned this honor. Nothing was given, nothing was bestowed, and nothing was preordained. The best advice I can give to our inductees is to truly appreciate this moment in your lives. After all, how many more times in your life will you be the center of attention, or will you be praised so openly with so many witnesses in attendance? But let's not forget that this night is just not about our honorees. Through my experiences, recurring themes at past Hall of Fame dinners have revolved around the love and support of family and friends that proved to be invaluable to the success of those who are receiving awards, and how this love and support has carried them in their postgraduate lives. I've always enjoyed hearing the stories of sacrifice and perseverance, of overcoming adversity and disappointments, and how the love of family and friends meant so much to these great careers. So it is with great pride that we salute not those who are being honored tonight, we also salute those who helped them get here. This occasion is a tribute to our athletic tradition. Above all, excellence and everything that went into that excellence. Tonight's Athletic Hall of Fame is being sponsored by our Blue Gold Club, the official booster club organization of John Carroll Athletics. At this time, I would like to invite Lori Massa, the Director of Varsity Athletics and Recreation at John Carroll, to officially welcome you to tonight's ceremony.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to all. On behalf of the university and the Department of Athletics, we look forward to this special occasion, as Chris said, every year, and it's important that we honor our own. Alumni athletes, teams, coaches, and special contributors, all of whom have made a difference within the John Carroll community and beyond. I continue to be impressed by the accomplishments of our inductees. Their stories are shining examples of John Carroll mission in the pursuit of excellence, not only in sports performance, but in learning, leadership, and service to others. Now I would like to recognize special guests from the university that are here this evening and thank them for being here. From our administration, Dr. Mark McCarthy, Vice President of Student Affairs, and his wife Mary. Dr. Sherry Crahan, Dean of Students, and Mike Roeder, Manager of Facilities and Services. Thank you for the countless ways you support athletics. Your work, advice, support, vision has contributed to the success of our staff, our programs, and our athletes. From the Jesuit community, Father Casey Bukala, who is behind me and getting ready to pray. Father Bernie McAniff, Father Bill Bickle. Thank you for your work, which helps students and staff alike reflect on what's really important in our lives. From University Advancement, Dave Vidito, Aaron Grace, and Kate Davis. Thank you for the work you do to engage people in support of athletics and for our programs and our students. And also from the Blue Gold Club and Hall of Fame Committee, here tonight are Jerry Schweikert, Dave Nichtine, and Drew Poppleton. I feel blessed every day to work with people who give so much to the betterment of John Carroll and to the development of our students. I want to introduce members of our staff this evening. Please stand when I call your name. First, our coaches, who work hard every day to bring quality students to John Carroll and to help them grow as people and as players. Matt Lenhart, Louis Fellinger, Christy Marabali, Mike Marich, our newest coach, Regis Scaife, fresh from Ireland in victory number 1. And his assistants, Tom Arth, Tom Zagorski, Brian Cochran, Greg Seelig. And our athletic administration. They make things happen in our department every day, whether it's setting up a football tailgate, a bus to Chicago, a score on your phone, or a special recognition banquet like this. Please acknowledge Jane Evans, External Operations, and our hostess in Ireland, Gretchen Whitebreck, Internal Operations, your hostess this evening, and Chris Wensler in Communications, who is our Master of Ceremony this evening. Finally, congratulations to our honorees, Antonio, George, Stephanie, Paul, Jill, Larry, Chuck, and Julie's family. You make us proud and inspire us to continue our legacy of athletic success at John Carroll. This is your night. Enjoy.
Before we begin dinner at this time, we ask one of our past Hall of Fame inductees, Father Casey Bukala from the class of 2005, to come forward and offer a prayer.
O God, we believe that you are present with us this evening for this celebration. We can all repeat the sentiment of Stephen Grellet as though it were our own. I shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall never pass this way again. We are as pieces of a puzzle representing your creation, O Lord, each piece having its uniqueness and value, each gifted to complement the gifts of those to whom we are related. Everyone's family tree being related to everyone else's, thus making us sisters and brothers of each other. We honor this evening the recipients of the Alumni Medal and Schweikert Award. We can never thank you enough for all the blessings you have bestowed on them and on all of us. The recipients of these awards continue to make the most of their gifts by who they are and what they do. We thank you for the blessings you continually bestow on our university. Students and faculty, staff, administrators, and alumni and their families. Bless our graduates also to find satisfying work and to live happy lives. Bless all of us to make the most of our lives as we strive to be a blessing for others. Lastly, a prayer for our troops in these troubling times. Lord, hold our troops in your loving hands. Protect them as they protect us. Bless them and their families for the selfless acts they perform for us in our time of need. And give us peace, give us peace, give us peace. We ask this in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior and friend. Amen. And now let us enjoy our dinner.
As we begin to bestow awards and induct Hall of Fame members, keep in mind the uniqueness of each story, blended with its own mixtures of triumphs and defeats, heartfelt moments and heartaches. Don't ever give up doing battle with, what am I doing here? Athletics at its core is about achievement. All those being honored here tonight achieved something greater than ordinary. They all dreamed to be greater than ordinary. Our first honor tonight is the Schweikert Award. Named in honor of longtime Blue Streaks coach and administrator, Dr. Jerry Schweikert, the award is given to an alumnus who represents his or her alma mater with a superior level of achievement and integrity within the field of athletics. Our 2012 recipient is Chuck Prefer, who began his coaching career at Padua Franciscan High School in 1963 and concluded his career 5 decades later with his retirement from the Detroit Lions in 2006. In between were some memorable stops. He was part of a National Collegiate Championship coaching staff at Georgia Tech in 1990 and made it to the Super Bowl with the San Diego Chargers in 1994. He also spent a season at Miami of Ohio, Kent State, and 6 seasons as a defensive backs defensive line coach at the University of North Carolina, where the Tar Heels won 5 bowl games over that span of time. His National Football League resume is just as impressive. He made his first trip to the NFL in 1984, where he spent 2 seasons as a Green Bay Packers special teams coach. And after San Diego, he would coach special teams with Detroit. He survived 5 head coaching changes in his 10 years by continually heading units on the team that ranked among the league's best from 1997 until 2006. Among the players he sent to the Pro Bowl included Desmond Howard, Eddie Drummond, and Jason Hansen. Ara Parsegan once said a good coach will make his players see what they can be rather than what they are. If that is true, then Chuck Prefer has certainly lived up to that billing. Here to present this distinguished honor is his namesake, Dr. Jerry Schweikert. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2012 Schweikert Award winner from the class of 1963, Mr. Chuck Prefer.
Thank you, Jerry. It's quite an honor for me to be here this evening. I mean that sincerely. I'd just like to correct our MC here. I survived 5 coaches at Detroit because I hid down the hall when they were coming down and firing each coach each time they. So to receive an award like this, there's many people that you have to recognize, and the most important person in my life, and has been for the last 47 years, is my wife Sheila, who's sitting over there. I'd like to have her stand, please. It's also my pleasure to have with me tonight my 2 sisters, 2 of my biggest supporters in my career, and one of my brother-in-laws. I'd like to thank them for coming too much, Sean and Mary, wherever they went. You know, it's an honor to be up here to receive an award, especially with the young men and young women that have received this tremendous honor of going into the Hall of Fame, and also with the honor that was supposed to be presented to Tony tonight. And you know, Tony was also a very, very influential man as a young football coach in Northeast Ohio to me. And then later on, as I went down the road in my professional career, collegiate and professional career, many times our paths would cross. And I was going to tell Tony I was glad he was retiring, because I would not have any more phone calls for, Chuck, we need $1,000 for... No. A super congrats to Tony, and hope everything's all right with his family, because he did a wonderful job for our great university. But Jerry Schweikert, to receive an award after somebody else, you know, you have to understand the person who the award is named after. And I like when Jerry presented the award to me tonight that he did not blow any smoke in my face like he used to do to some of his players in the old days. And some of you veterans around here might relate to this, that Jerry used to be allowed to smoke on the sideline. And so in those days, he used to carry plays in and out. And the guard would come in, take a play in, and the next guy would come out. And a very, very close friend of mine came out one time. He was one of the guards carrying a play in and out. And he said, Jerry says, run. And he looked at him, he says, get in there. And he had no idea what he said, because he just blew a whole puff of smoke into his face. He said he went in and told the quarterback, run whatever you want to run. But so, you know, you go back and check Jerry's award, check Jerry's records. What a great football coach he was, baseball coach. I know he coached volleyball and helped Gretchen with her program getting started. And every place he went, there was excellence. Championships and great teams and close teams and great games. And so to me, this is special. And you know, as sure as God made little green apples, he used to say all the time, when God created Jerry, he created a great person and a great leader. He was in the line of a lot of great men that have been here at John Carroll, who represented men that some of you young people don't know, but some of us gray-haired people, such as Herb Isley and John Ray, Don Stopeka, Tony already mentioned. And now we have our own legend in the making in Regis. Coaches that are great in the field that I happen to be in and I looked up to. And of course, Regis and I were talking about, we used to coach against each other, but obviously he was much, much younger. When I think of these men, when I think of Jerry, you know, you choose a quality that stands out. And the quality that stood out the most to me when I started thinking about this a couple weeks ago and started putting my thoughts together was loyalty. Loyalty, first of all, to our faith. We're blessed to have a faith that's very important to us, faith that's very important to myself and my wife and my family. Secondly, loyalty to our family, which we don't have as much as we need to have. Loyalty to whatever sport we're coaching, and tonight we're honoring many, many sports and many fields. In our case, it was football, and with Jerry was football, and to have the athletes in that sport and the academics. And then loyalty to an institution, the loyalty to John Carroll. When you see a man such as Jerry who's devoted over 55 years of his life to this university, and for me to receive an award named after him says a lot to me, because that man is loyalty personified. You know, our university is dedicated to a superior level of achievement and integrity in the form of athletics, is our motto. And think about that, superior level, not just a level, not just average level, superior. And for us to achieve what we need leaders such as men like Jerry and the men that we've talked about here. You know, today with all the things that are going on in society and going on in our sports, I think that's one of the key words that we're missing, loyalty. I used to demand that of my players, and I think you earn it as Jerry's earned it. It's a forgotten word, but not to these men, not to Jerry, and not to the people sitting in this room that love John Carroll University, and to the athletes that have achieved what they've achieved with the God-given talent they've been given. I'm truly honored to be considered in the same breath, in some small way, to be in the class with Jerry and what he stood for. I want to thank you, Jerry, so much for all you did for football, for athletics, for John Carroll. I want to thank Greg Seelick, who played for me, for all the players who played for me and who helped me achieve any honors I achieved, because you're only as good as your players when you're a coach. And those people, the young men that sacrificed and did the things they needed to do for us to have winning seasons, was very, very special to me. And I'm honored that they played for me. Thank you so much again. God bless you all, and thank you for the wonderful weekend. One last word, Regis. Let's beat BW.
Of all the athletes who have represented our school since John Carroll instituted an intercollegiate athletic program over 90 years ago, only 222 have been elected into the Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will add 7 more. Before we begin introducing our Hall of Fame inductees, it is important to underscore how deserving they are by briefly explaining the selection process. Each year, the Hall of Fame committee undertakes the task of electing a worthy induction class into the Hall of Fame. To be eligible for the Hall, a student athlete must be 10 years removed from his or her graduation, and the criteria includes impact on a program, honors and accolades, level of competition, leadership, and community involvement and citizenship. The committee, which consists of over 20 members, begins this assignment in January by compiling a list of candidates that have been assembled through online submissions, submissions by mail, and research done by the Sports Information Office. This year, more than 50 candidates were on the first ballot. Through a series of meetings, the list of names was steadily reduced, and the names are pared down to a final 20, at which time the final votes are cast. What you are witness to tonight are the results of this exhausting yet worthwhile process. These are the 7 candidates chosen most worthy for induction this year. At the 2000 OAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships, Julie Zajac won the league title in the 3,000 and 10,000 meter run and earned the Marcia French Award for the OAC Women's Track Athlete of the Year as a sophomore. In all, she won 6 titles during that 2000 outdoor track season, including 2 at the All-Ohio Championships and 2 at the OAC Championships. In addition to earning 2 letters in track, she also lettered 3 times in cross country. During the 2000 cross-country season, she had 5 top 30 finishes, including a runner-up showing at the Muskingum Invitational. She was also 17th place at the OAC Championships and 27th at the All-Ohio. As a sophomore, she was John Carroll's top finisher at the 1999 OAC Championships, and she also earned Academic All-OAC in 2000 and 2001. Julie was never able to defend her titles, as she was undergoing treatment in the spring of 2001 for cancer and passed away later that year. In honor of her memory, the Julie Zajac Award is given annually to the most outstanding distance runner at the OAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. We also honor her memory and her spirit this evening with this much-deserved validation of her time as a student athlete at John Carroll University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2002, Miss Julie Zajac. And accepting on her behalf will be her coach, Kathy Lanise.
So, good evening. I first want to thank, and I want to speak for both Bob and Jenny, her parents, and her sister Laura, for thanking the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, for inducting Julie with a well-deserved honor. So thank you. I'm presently coaching at Case Western Reserve, and I was very honored my 4 years here and having Julie as a phenomenal member of my team. So tonight before I came here, I was working with my team doing some visualization and deep breathing and kind of all those things to take the nerves away. So I've been doing a little bit of that in my seat. Because even though I'm speaking to my team day to day, I still get a little nervous in a crowd. So, but it's really wonderful speaking to you all. Julie, I'm first of all very honored to be speaking on her behalf. I go back to her wake, and I think about two things were given to me that day, and one was her father gave me a stopwatch, and he said, "I want you to have this stopwatch," and it is the stopwatch that I had in taking all the times for Julie along the way. And number one, I was very honored to have that, and I still have that stopwatch today. The second thing I have is her memory card from the wake, and it has her picture on it, and I'm going to finish my talk today by what it said inside. And so those have been my inspirations. I have that in my bedroom on my mirror, and my inspirations in coaching and knowing that Julie has been one of those individuals that have kept me going through the years in my difficult times, as she had also gone through difficult times. So just start by saying that Julie was a phenomenal human being. I think of many of her loves. She was very passionate about many things. One of them, her love for France. She had a love for classical music. Obviously, she had a love for running. She was one of the most amazing students I had ever worked with, student athlete. She was a great friend. She was a great teammate. She was a great captain. I mean, she had all of these qualities that every coach was honored to have that type of athlete before me on a daily basis. And she was also my inspiration for the success that I've had through the years. I go back to her freshman year, and I know I'm not going to talk about her accolades because they were spoken about, they're in the program, and I hope that people do read those because they're just, you know, I'm very proud of her and what she accomplished here at John Carroll University. Julie started out her freshman year, and she was slow. And when I say slow, I mean, one of the things I've always tried to teach my runners is how to be quick at the end of a race. Julie was not quick at the end of the race. She was kind of just a plugger alonger. She always was very consistent, but so we worked on some skills to make her fast. So her freshman year, she was honestly my slowest runner when it comes to the kick of the race, when it comes to finishing hard. But she came up to me one day and says, "Coach, how can I be fast? How can I be a better runner in this regard?" So she was one of those people that came to me, and we worked on an individual basis to make her fast. And so that's the kind of kid she was. She always wanted to achieve the most out of everything that she had. She always milked it for the best. And so by her junior year, as we were doing striders on the football field, which is a fast acceleration, Julie was the fastest. So it just proves that everything she did for a reason, for a purpose. And the payoffs were great for her. And as I said, I'm extremely honored, I can say that over and over and over again, to be a part of her life, to be a part of her parents' life and her family life, because they were very dear to me through this whole process with her too. So I want to keep to my time limit, and I do want to say that, again, I'm honored, just honored to be a part of such a phenomenal person's life, young person's life, and it was a great hardship for a lot of people with her passing. But we can keep her name alive. There was many ways in which her name, and I know her father was really tried to, he did keep her name alive. There's a Julie Zajac Scholarship in her name that here at John Carroll, there's a pillar named after her with her picture. The outdoor track and field is named after her, and these are the ways her name lives on. And so to Julie, she was a tremendous woman of faith also. And being here at John Carroll, I think that was, she was in her element. So in the program to honor her was, I have kept the faith, I have finished the race. So here's to Julie.
Sometimes in life you have to have hope, and other times you have to abandon hope. And I apologize for this pun in advance, but Paul Hobrecht left Hope College and wound up at John Carroll University, and the Blue Streak men's soccer team was the beneficiary. He was a 4-year letter winner and a 3-year starter at goalkeeper for the John Carroll men's soccer team, and served as the captain of the first Blue Streak team to qualify for the NCAA Division III men's soccer championship. An all-Great Lakes region first team and all-Ohio first team selection as a senior, Paul earned All-OAC and All-Ohio Defensive Player of the Year accolades in 2000. He led the league in goals allowed average his senior year and was the winning keeper for the John Carroll squad that captured the 2000 OAC tournament that carried the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Also a member of the OAC regular season champions in 1997, Paul finished his career with 239 career saves, and he amassed 18 wins and 7 shutouts over his final 2 seasons. He was twice named Academic All-OAC and earned Academic All-District 4 at-large second-team honors as a senior. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2000, Paul Hobrecht.
I hope you guys are comfortable because this is going to be a while. First of all, I'd like to thank the Blue and Gold Club and especially the Hall of Fame Committee for a really special honor. Also, Gretchen, thank you for all your hard work. I can only imagine all the details. I also want to say congratulations to the other inductees. Pretty big thrill to see my name next to some men and women that I knew well. One of the great things about John Carroll, it was easy to follow the other teams. So you knew who was good, you knew who was having successful seasons, who was having a great career. And so it's a real privilege to see my name along with the names of people I knew and respected from our time competing together here at John Carroll. To table number 2, friends and family, roommates, people that have been part of a lot of meaningful moments, but also part of a lot of the little moments of life too. It's great to see your faces, and I'm happy you're here. To my parents, the Hobrechts are notorious, so I apologize if I get a little emotional. I'm so happy with how you guys handled sports. Having been a coach and working in and around athletics for the last 12 years, I have a lot of respect for how you just simply allowed me to go and compete and to learn what I could from that experience. I always knew that I had to work, and I knew that I had to respect my teammates and my coaches, but I never felt any pressure. I never felt any expectations, and I always knew I was going to get my same parents, win or lose. So I thank you for teaching me the things that have real value. You were never worried about the results, the winning, the losing, what other people might think was success or failure. Those things weren't important to you. You wanted me to make sure that I was focused on the things that had real value. What I learned from you is that, as St. Paul says, whatever's true, whatever's honorable, whatever's just, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's commendable, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. And so I thank you for teaching me those things, but more importantly, showing me those things, how to value those things, and how to build on the rock. I love you guys. To my wife, it only gets worse from here. There's a small little room over in the Griselli Library on the 3rd floor. It's called the G.K. Chesterton room. And Chesterton was this kind of giant of a man in the 20th century, Roman Catholic guy, intellectual, academic, a thinker. And I want to share one of his insights with you tonight. He said, wedding vows are made when they're not needed. And you just don't think you're going to need those heavy-duty promises on the happiest day of your life. That day was pretty easy. But I thank God every day for giving me such a loving wife and one that's faithful to her promises when they were needed. I love you. All right, now the easy part. Before I go, I want to thank my teammates and coaches. It was really a case of right place at the right time. We were just talking at the table how things really fell into place and ended up at John Carroll. I was fortunate to be part of a great team. I was a 5th-year senior, just coming back to be part of another season with a bunch of great guys, try and show some young guys the ropes. And next thing you know, we're the 2000 OAC champions, and we're going to the national tournament. And Chris, he wrote a really great piece for the website, I remember, the day after the game. And he kind of went back and he chronicled all the teams that had come before us, the teams that were good enough to have gone to the national tournament, the teams that deserved to have gone, and the teams that really should have gone, but that they didn't. And that the 2000 team, they had a breakthrough because we did make it, and we were the first. So tonight I want to leave with one last thought. I'd like to encourage the Hall of Fame committee to consider for nomination and induction the 2000 men's soccer team as a group to be inducted at the earliest possible opportunity. I think it's a great way to recognize the impact that a team can have on a person, on a program, and on an entire department. And there are some other really special teams already in the Hall of Fame, and I hope some more special teams to come in the future. So I leave you with that thought. I hope you guys are having a good time, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
The true measure of a champion is to keep your cool while others lose theirs. Such was the case at the 2000 NCAA Division III Swimming and Diving Championships held in Atlanta, Georgia. While others failed to hit their mark, Stephanie Turner continued to hit hers. And when all was said and done, she made history as the first female national champion in any sport at John Carroll, capturing the Division III title in the 3-meter diving competition. In winning the Division III title, she became just the second John Carroll athlete in the sport of swimming and diving to claim a national championship. A 4-time national qualifier, Stephanie was a 2-time first-team All-American in 3-meter diving. She was also a 2-time honorable mention All-American in 3-meter diving and 4-time honorable mention All-American in 1-meter diving. In 4 years of competing at the Ohio Athletic Conference Championships, she was undefeated, concluding her career as an 8-time OAC champion and a 4-time OAC Most Valuable Diver. She was the owner of the school and conference records on both boards at the time of her graduation. She was a 4-year letter winner who was her team's most valuable athlete in 2000 and 2002. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2002, Stephanie Turner Benson.
goodness. Hi there. I get very nervous talking in front of people, so first I want to say thank you to the Hall of Fame people who got me here. I think for a very long time I didn't realize how important this was, how big of a deal this was, and even tonight, until really hearing about the selection process, I don't think it really sunk in that this is such an honor to be here. And I do want to congratulate the other inductees. The fact that it's been 10 years is just, it went by very, very quickly. I do want to thank, first and foremost, Louis Fellinger. He was my coach from the time I was 15 years old. He stuck by my side. He probably knew me better than anyone from the time I was 15 until even after college. Matt Lenhart, as a swim coach, you wouldn't think a swim coach would be so involved in a diver's career. But he cheered me on just as much as anyone else on the team. And he was the one at the national championship meet that I won, telling me that I had actually won because I didn't quite realize what was happening. So I have to thank my mom and dad, my brother and my sister-in-law for being here. Obviously a huge support through my college career. Thank you. And to my husband, and to my college roommate, Carrie, she's here with me. She kept me going to practices. She kept me sane through the diving meets. So thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for this moment. It's something that I'll remember for my rest of my life. Thank you.
If you read the Hall of Fame program, you will note that there was this part in Antonio McClatty's article about how he claims he was not that good of an athlete as a kid. Well, Antonio, I speak from the bottom of my heart when I say, I wish I was half as good as you didn't think you were. Antonio was a two-time track and field All-American in the 4x400 relay, helping the Blue Streaks finish third in the nation in 2002 and fourth in 2001. He also enjoyed success in the hurdles, as he was a 2002 national qualifier in the 400-meter race. At the 2002 OAC Championships, Antonio earned OAC Runner of the Year as he was an integral part of the school's first league title since the Blue Streaks won the President's Athletic Conference title in 1977. Over the course of his career, he was an 8-time All-OAC performer and 6-time league champion. He was twice the 110 and 400-meter hurdles champion. In all, he won 31 titles in track and field, including 16 in the 2002 season alone. He held the school's 400 hurdles outdoor record at the time of his graduation and is part of the record holder 4x400 indoor and outdoor relays. In addition to his track exploits, McClatty was also a 3-time varsity letter winner in basketball at John Carroll, as he was the team's most outstanding defensive player in 2002. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2002, Antonio McClatty.
Good evening, everyone. I thank everybody for coming out. I thought I was done with stairs back when we graduated, but I guess I didn't realize there was going to be one more flight before it was all said and done. But first and foremost, I definitely want to say thank you for the incredible honor of being a part of this incredible class of inductees. I didn't even know until this evening what the selection process was and how intense it was to be considered. Also, just hearing the accolades, it kind of, when running and doing everything, as a Division III athlete, you come here for the education, to be part of, just athletics and sports. I never would have thought that it would, be on this grand of a scale. Definitely want to thank God for just having the ability to, be able to compete at this level. I know Chris jokingly talks about the fact that I said I wasn't a real good athlete. I mean, it was true, and my mom and my family member can tell you. When I got to high school, I was probably the scrawniest kid you've ever seen. 5'3", 98 pounds. Soaking wet, and so it took a lot of hard work, weight room, and a lot of other things to get to that point. But I just thank God for the ability to be able to get to this point and be a collegiate athlete. Most people don't make it. Love to thank my mother for just, getting me into sports at a very early age, whether it was football, baseball, whatever it was, really just being support coming out to, the different events. My other family members and friends that came out, my lovely wife, my little one, my sister, and my aunt all the way from Seattle. So I definitely thank you all for coming and being in support. All the honorees and inductees for what you've accomplished in your collegiate sports career and outside. Definitely, I got to say a special thank you to my roommate and other inductee, George. I'll get to him in a second, but I want to say thank you to my coaches, some that are here and some that couldn't be here. My track coach from high school who really kind of gave me the belief that I could be as good on the track as anybody else, Arnold McLean, and also Coach Mike Moran from basketball, Coach John Stedman, Bob Straub, Coach Scaife. Some people might not know I did play a little bit of football, so I was blessed to be a part of the football team as well and just be surrounded by all the great football coaches and players. Coach Yarnell, who's not here, was an integral part of our track coaching team. Also, both the Cathys, Kathy Lanise, who you heard from earlier, and also Coach Kathy Glow. Just incredible coaching staff, but athletic trainers, equipment managers, just everybody who really just played a part. I'm talking, students and fans that, really just patted us on the back every week in and out when we did anything. The Sports Information Department, Chris Winsler, Gretchen Rybrecht, all of the just incredible folks around it. And, again, special thanks to George. I tell you, it was an interesting story getting us all here to begin with. I wasn't quite sure that I was going to come to John Carroll initially. I had plans of going elsewhere, but I do believe that things all work in the way that they're supposed to, and they're ordained a certain way. And I remember running into George at the mall prior to our freshman year, and he had asked me if we would room together. And I still hadn't really committed to coming to John Carroll, but I was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And so that was kind of the first step to committing to come to John Carroll. And so even when I got here, honestly, I never anticipated on ever running track again. I had some injury problems in high school, and it was so painful. I was just done running. And I remember George in the room one day. Many people might not know George likes to talk a little trash. And so as part of that, we were just kind of sitting there, talking back and forth. We had been competing on the same stage in high school, but in two different conferences, so I'd always see his name in the paper, he'd see my name in the paper, but we only had the chance to race one time in high school. And if I recall correctly, I think I won that one. But so there was some trash talking going on behind that. I'm getting to the story, George, not to say you're not a great athlete. But the relevancy of that was that's what started the trash talking when we got here, because George claimed that was a fluke, and I said, well, we'll never know because I'm not running anymore. And so it just continued into the fact, I said, you know what? I'm going to come out just so that I can show you that this was not a one-time deal. And after that, I'm going to hang up the shoes and retire. I'm never going to run again. And so I thank George for egging on the trash talking, because without that, I probably never would have came back out and run. And, it was just the love of the group of guys and gals that we were, able to be a part of, especially, Julie was incredible. I mean, the time we spent running with her and the rest of the gals, all of the other folks that are here, Nick Weimer, Ricky J, Brad, Chuck, I got to get it out. But all of the incredible athletes that we had, pleasure, Drew Poppleton as well, that were part of that team. But it was just an incredible experience being a part of such a great group of folks. I forgot my buddy Bug over there too, and Pam. I'm sorry, guys. But I really have to give a special thanks to Coach Mann. This is a gentleman that really from the bottom of his heart cares so much about coaching. I mean, this is all he knows. I mean, he has a heart for the team, a heart for the people. I remember back when I was my senior year, my injury had gotten so bad. In between races, I was actually hooked up to an electronic stimulation machine, and I was running in so much pain. And Dick Mann was the only coach who came up to me as I'm lying on the ground after my final race in high school and congratulated me, told me how good of a job he thought I did, and gave me his card. And so I held on to that card because it meant a lot to me that he, even in my frustration from not being able to compete at the level I was accustomed to, still saw enough in me to give me his card and tell me that I want to give John Carroll a look. And so when I came out and ran, that was another big reason why I stayed, because Coach Mann did so much for the organization, spending thousands of dollars out of his own pocket to make sure that we were well taken care of. Those trips to Arby's, I mean, to this day, I won't eat an Arby's roast beef sandwich because we ate so many roast beef sandwiches as a track and field team. But just the dinners, just everything that he did really to just make sure that we were well taken care of, regardless of what the budget was, regardless of what we needed, he was always there. And I thank you so much for pushing me to the limit, Coach. I was telling my wife the story the other day about how you actually got me into the 4x4, and it kind of backfired, but really just angering me to the point I thought I was getting back at him when actually it was working right into his plan to get me where he wanted me to be. And so thank you for for doing that. It just means a whole lot to be inducted. I mean, especially with two of my best friends, Larry Holmes and George Sample. I can't tell you how much it means to just be a part of that group. Just top-notch athletes and individuals, and it just means the world to me. Being a part of the legacy with Paul, just his grad assistants. I mean, he was a great soccer player, but he was also a good basketball player. I remember just playing in different sports, just being familiar with all of the folks that are part of the inductees tonight. We shared some special times here at John Carroll, but it just means being amongst the greatest athletes in John Carroll history. I mean, the ones that are here today and the ones that will come after us, and just really looking back at all of your accomplishments and knowing that you've cemented, a legacy that no one can ever erase. It means a lot to really be an athlete at this particular level. A lot of sacrifices, a lot of things that go into, what we do. I think a lot of people don't realize the hard work and things that go in. I mean, a Division I athlete, you get scholarships. I mean, so you're getting, some sort of compensation. We're out here for the love of our school, the love of the fans, and the love of the things that we do. And so I'm truly humbled to receive this honor. I'm elated to have had the accomplishment that we've had as a group. And again, I'm just really ecstatic about the opportunity. And I just want to leave, everyone with just one thought, that understand no matter what goes on, failure will never overtake you as long as you have the determination to succeed and is strong enough. And so, that's really what motivated me, and I'm sure many others in there were like, they're like sports while they were here. So again, I thank everyone, all the inductees. I thank, the Blue Gold Club and the Hall of Fame committee for this incredible honor.
Our next inductee had the occasion to be involved in two of the most memorable plays that ever took place in John Carroll history. One was that he caught a Hail Mary touchdown pass at the end of the first half of a game that wound up going into triple overtime against Mount Union. He had 3 touchdowns that day, but one of them was this Hail Mary catch from our very own Tom Arth over there in the corner. Some people say it was the best football game they've ever seen played. I wish it had a different ending, but still an unbelievable game. He also hit this, what we all thought was a game-winning shot in the sport of basketball against Ohio Northern. It was an NCAA playoff game. And he hits a shot at the buzzer. We never wanted Ohio Northern before. And the John Carroll team ran off the floor. Well, it was later waved off. And to this day, I think it's the only time I think Mike Moran finished a game without a shirt. He lost all his buttons because he was so enraged at the call going against him that he literally snapped all the buttons off the front of his shirt. This one had a happy ending that we came back in overtime, and Larry had a good overtime, and we won that game. So at least we can say one good ending out of that. But to have two of the most memorable plays that ever happened is indicative of how worthy of a Hall of Fame career Larry Holmes put together. He achieved at a very high level in two sports, and as a result, he earned all conference accolades 5 times, 3 in basketball and 2 in football. On the gridiron, he was named first-team All-OAC and third-team All-America and earned a spot on the AFCA Aztec Bowl Division III All-Star team following his senior season. He also made an impact on the hardwood. As a senior, he was second-team All-OAC, third-team All-Great Lakes Region, and ranked 13th in all of Division III for rebounds per game. He was a leading rebounder on the 1999 basketball team that reached the Elite Eight and was a member of the OAC regular season champions the year before. A 3-time letter winner in both sports, Holmes was twice the most outstanding defensive player in basketball and was team MVP in both sports as a senior. He graduated as a school record holder for career touchdowns and single-season receiving yards that he set in 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2001, Larry Holmes.
Ooh, man, just hearing all that stuff and hearing Antonio talk, I don't know if I can talk anymore. But it's a great honor to be here inducted with, like Antonio said, a lot of people that I've come to love in my life and who have been around through the good and bad. We had great times, especially here at John Carroll. It's very memorable. Especially since the one person that I can really thank for me coming to school here at John Carroll is my mother. She always forced me to go to a school, but with John Carroll, I really came here because of the tradition, the education, just the people. I came on a visit here and met some wonderful people who I'm still friends with today. Also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for inducting. Like everyone else has talked about, I really didn't know the procedure that they went through to all the rigorous points that they had to really think about to really be a Hall of Fame, especially with some of the people that came before us. It's a pleasure. I'm still at awe at all the accomplishments of everyone else. He said I had 2 of the best plays ever, and I just think of those plays as plays of just playing sports. My accomplishments obviously don't stack up to any of the others, but I really am appreciative of being up here and being with all the other honorees and the people that came before me. But one of the stories I like to tell, I always liked to play basketball in the recreation center. And there's a wall, as most people here would know, of all the honorees, all the inductees, Hall of Famers, and I think I was just telling Paul this, and I would walk by every day. Like, I hope to God I want to be on that wall someday. Someday. And I worked hard with all my teammates, coaches, and obviously we made it. And it was a long haul, believe me. It is very rough as a D3 athlete to play sports. Not to mention, George and Antonio, they played 3 sports, or George played 2 and Antonio played 3 sports. So I can only imagine, along with the rigorous education that John Carroll has set out and put us out in the world to have, which is top notch in not only the area, but in the nation. And I'm just really happy to be up here. There's a couple other people I want to thank. I would like to thank my father. He's been a true inspiration in my life. I want to thank the Scrovan family. I don't really want to put her on blast, but we've been together for quite some time. I love her to death. and her family has become my family. It's really an honor, especially when I was going through some tough times, especially here at John Carroll. They were always there for me as well, along with my family, along with my teammates, coaches. I can't really say how much of a blessing it really is to be up here, standing in front of you, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm just happy, really happy. I can't say, and I really didn't think about it too much because I was trying not to be so nervous, even though I am nervous. But it really is an honor, really is an honor. And I'm trying not to break down and go into tears because I'm that tough guy. So just thank you. Thank you so much.
For anyone who watched a women's soccer game between the years 1998 and 2001, your eyes were instantly drawn to number 11. There was no denying that Jill Comerford seemed to have both the will and the skill to be the dominant force in the field, and the numbers and the accolades prove that out. She was a leading scorer for the first John Carroll women's soccer team to qualify for the NCAA Division III championship tournament, and was well rewarded for that performance. She was a three-time all-region player, the first one in John Carroll women's history to do that 3 times, and she also garnered All-Ohio honors 3 times, including first team as a senior. She was All-OAC 4 times, including 3 times on the first team. A 4-year starter and letter winner, Jill set program single-season records for goals and points, which still stand at this time. She's the program's all-time leader in career assists and is also second all-time in goals and points. She's the team's offensive MVP in 2001, as well as the team captain that year. Her individual success translated to team achievements. The Blue Streaks are OAC regular season champions in 2000 and OAC tournament champions in 2001. And that one, of course, qualified John Carroll for the NCAA championship for the first, and to this date, the only time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2002, Jill Comerford.
Good evening. Members of the Blue Gold Club, distinguished guests, dear friends and family. It's a great pleasure to be here this evening and share in the John Carroll Athletic Hall of Fame induction. To my fellow honorees, Larry, George, Paul, Antonio, Stephanie, and Chuck, congratulations on your well-deserved recognition. To Mr. and Mrs. Zajac, I'm honored to be a part of this celebration in memory of Julie. I'd like to thank the Blue Gold Club, the JCU Athletic Department, and all fellow Blue Streaks. To my parents, Mike and Maureen, my sister Kelly and her husband Jim, my brothers Michael and Bobby and his wife Tennille, who are here this evening, along with my nieces Lauren and Olivia, and nephews Jimmy, Michael, and Griffin. Thank you for all your love and support. Also, a special thank you to Gretchen for organizing this wonderful celebration. You were very, very gracious in fielding the numerous, well, probably hundreds of my mother's phone calls and emails regarding this event. You were a good sport. To all my coaches and teammates, without all of you, I wouldn't be here today. I will forever cherish our time and memories we shared together. It was an incredible journey, one that I'll never forget. A special thank you to Coach Tracy Iglesias for her leadership, inspiration, and support. You helped me become a better athlete, a better student, and most importantly, a better person. I'm forever grateful. I am truly honored and very humbled to be a member of the JCU Athletic Hall of Fame. This is a very special occasion in my life, one that I always treasure. It's truly, truly an honor to receive this prestigious award. John Carroll has made a tremendous impact on my life. It helped shape me into the person I am today. As a member of the women's soccer team, the lessons of character, determination, teamwork, and mutual respect were instilled in us every day. These traits are what now define me as an adult. I am extremely thankful for the education, opportunities, and long-lasting friendships that JCU has provided me. And again, I just want to thank my parents who've done so much for me, my whole family who's here, and my dear friends for being here tonight to share this experience with me. May God bless the Blue Gold Club, John Carroll University, and the entire Blue Streak family. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Before he was president of the National John Carroll Alumni Board, George Sample was an outstanding student athlete at John Carroll, as well as an outstanding drummer for the pep band, a well-renowned DJ at the radio station. He also happened to be an intern at General Electric. It's a pretty solid resume, but wait, there's more. He was a member of the 2 All-American relays in the sport of track and field. Along with fellow inductee Antony McCladdy, the Blue Streaks finished in 3rd place in the 4x400 relay at the NCAA Division III Championships in 2002. He was also on the 4th place team in 2001. George also was a 2002 national qualifier in the 400-meter dash. A 9-time all-conference performer, George captured 4 league titles over the course of his career. His victory in the 400-meter dash played a big part of John Carroll's first OAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships in 2002. In his 4 years, George collected 22 first-place finishes in outdoor track and field meets, and another 18 first places in the indoor season. He graduated as a school record holder in the 4x400 indoor and outdoor relays. George also was a 3-time letter winner as a linebacker in football, in addition to earning 4 letters in the sport of track and field. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the John Carroll University Athletic Hall of Fame from the class of 2002, George Sample.
All right, now I'm gonna need a picture for Facebook. So on the count of 3, everybody say Blue Streaks. 1, 2, 3. Good. John Carroll education. There's a vicious rumor going around this is going to be 45 minutes. I don't know where that got started. Someone earlier mentioned some race. We're going to have to get some validation on how that finished up. I don't know if you won that. I don't remember that. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you guys coming here. A few people I'd like to point out. My wife, Tanya, over the past 10 years, I have dragged her to enough JCU events where she should have a degree. It's been that many. It really has. On her lap is my daughter, Jordan. If you thought I was fast, she's going to be much faster than I ever was. Especially when you have something in her hands she's not supposed to have. She's gone. People say I'm nice, but if you met my dad, Stan, it's right there, you'll see where it comes from. He is the nicest, most genuine person you will ever come across. He really is. And Jackie Bosinger. When my mother passed away, she was one of the most helpful, inspirational people for me, and also helped me get my first job. So you could thank her for me having a job. There's a lot of special people that go into making a life for you, and everyone has those special people in their life. coaches, friends, family, relatives. But I want to take time to just highlight 4 people. 3 of them who are in the audience today, and 1 who's with us in spirit. I went to John Hay High School, kind of down the road, in Cleveland Public Schools. And that's where I met Jeremy Bell. We met playing football. So we got to the end of the football season, and he's like, do you want to run track? And I'm like, I played a bunch of sports growing up, but I had never ran track. I'm like, track? This is just running just to run, right? Is there like a point here? So he invited me to run track. So that's why I got into track. So thanks for getting me into track. I would go to his house, I don't know, like every day after practice. Not every single day, but most of the time we'd go and we'd hang out. And that was one of the key reasons why I never got into trouble. Because Jeremy didn't do bad stuff, so I didn't do bad stuff. Jeremy didn't drink, I didn't drink. He didn't smoke, I didn't smoke. He didn't sell drugs, I didn't sell drugs. And that was just because of him. And it's only kind of looking back after time that I can really reflect and say that it was just because I hung out, I had the right friend with me all the time, that I stayed on the right path. So thank him for that. And he's always been there for me. Jeremy, he's a drill instructor, drill sergeant in the Army. He's based in Georgia. I picked him up from the airport today because he flew in for this. Same way he flew in to be the best man at my wedding from Iraq 7 years ago. So thank you, Jeremy, because you're always there for me. I appreciate you. Another person I want to talk about is Coach Mike Bailey. I got to say it like that because that's how he introduces himself. Now, I mentioned the track thing. He was a track coach beginning of my sophomore year in high school. We had a different coach my freshman year. And my freshman year, I was a distance runner. I ran the mile. My PR was 5:58. For those who don't speak track, that is really, really slow. Really slow. So he gets to John Hay, and one of the first weeks of practice, we're in the gym, he puts out a hurdle, and he has everybody on the team go over the hurdle. So I go over the hurdle, and he's like, oh, you're not scared of the hurdle? I'm like, I play football, it can't hurt me, it's just standing there. So he made me a hurdler. 4 championships, 4 sitting championships later, and a trip to the state later, he helped teach me how to have success. And not just running around fast, but how to deal with success, how to be positive in yourself, how to have that confidence that, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can put this together. And that was just phenomenal help for me in getting me where I needed to be. And a big part of who I am now is just having that success and really tasting that. And I just really thank him for that. He also was, he probably didn't know at the time, he was my guidance counselor as well. So he helped me with all the tests, the college tests, how to do those tests, and also helped me pick my college major as well. So you have him to thank for 7 years of application developer George, who's a computer science major at John Carroll. It happened with his help. So Mike Bailey, thank you. I appreciate you. Angela Sample, that's my mom. My mom would take me, we went to Thurgood Marshall, that's our recreation center. I played everything. We played baseball, t-ball, flag football, basketball, swimming. We did swimming because I almost drowned once and said, no, you got to go swimming. You're going to have to learn this. She took me to everything. And she was always so encouraging with the, you can do this. We're going to have you do these activities. Just have me explore all the options that I could possibly explore. I talked about having that success in track when I was in high school. Well, that sophomore year, I came in 3rd in the league championship in indoor. So I'm big stuff. I'm fantastic, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. My mom said, if you get a D on your report card, you can't run track. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So after 3rd quarter, I came home with the D on my report card. Now, I'm, at this point, the best hurdler in the city. So I'm about to go win this city championship. She says, no, you're not running track because you got the D on your report card. I watched that city championship from the stands. Up to that point, I was a so-so student. I really was. It was school out, whatever. After that point, it was all A's and B's, and that was a big part of the reason I was able to get academic scholarships to come to John Carroll in the first place. And that was all because of, she put her foot down and said, you're going to achieve academically in my house if you want to keep on having success. So that was just a huge piece of who I am and pushing me forward there. Always supportive. Chris mentioned that I was a DJ for the radio station. One of my slots was a midnight to 3 a.m. slot. This is during my junior year, where she was sick. And one of the things she told me is that she would stay up just to listen, to hear my voice, and it would help her. So she was always there, always just being supportive of everything that I did. She lost the fight with cancer the summer before my senior year. It was like a couple weeks before football camp started. And I go to football camp, and the first week of football camp, I break my wrist. This is my senior year, and I kind of disappeared for a little bit. For a few days, like nobody saw me, because I was contemplating just saying, forget it. My mind was not in a good place, because she had passed away, I broke my wrist, I was having a grand old pity party for myself. But I had to come back to honor her memory. Just remembering all the time she took me to the t-balls, the footballs, the whatever sports they were, I had to come back and make sure I honor her memory and finish out that senior season. And I did that just because that's what she would have wanted had she still been here. So I thank her for the influence that she had on my life. It was significant. The last person I want to talk about is Coach Dick Mann. Antonio talked about him a little bit. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more, Raz's shame. My recruiting visit to John Carroll. I'm at John Hay, and a little 1975 piece of crap Chevy Nova pulls up to the back door. I get into the passenger seat. This thing has the passenger side brakes, because it was one of those student driver cars, because he taught student ed. I'm like, what's going on here? So he put up the hill to John Carroll. I meet all the guys on the team, and he starts talking about, oh, we finished dead last. We're going to finish dead last in the conference this year. This is my first year, but we're going to build a program. I'm like, what is this old guy talking about? He just lost his mind. But everybody on the team, they were just so nice and so supportive. I was like, we're going to give this thing a whirl. Antonio mentioned Coach's ability to recruit. He brought so much phenomenal talent to the school, and we just had a team. And it's not just bringing the talent to the school, it's creating the kind of culture that he created where everyone had fun. Everyone felt like teammates, that we're battling practice every single day, and when we get to the track, we're going to go to war, and we're going to achieve. And that was a culture that he put in place, mostly because when we'd be outside running in the 30-degree weather, he'd be out there in a t-shirt saying, "Go on!" That's how he would be. He's a tough guy like that. That's how he would be. And that was instilled in the entire team. And everybody on the team pitched in. That 2002 year was a magical year. It was phenomenal. And it was because of him, because of his leadership, because of his guidance, that we were able to have that kind of experience. Coach Mann is having his own battle with cancer. He's having his own battle with cancer. I'm not sure if John Carroll will do something to officially recognize Coach Mann, so I'm going to take this time to recognize him myself. I did a little research, because after every year he put together the books to say how everybody did in every season. So going back, in his 6 years as men's track and field coach, he won JCU's only Ohio Athletic Conference championship. He was two-time OAC Coach of the Year. He produced 8 All-Americans, 2 national champions, and numerous conference champions. So I'd like to conclude my time here at the podium by just thanking Coach. Coach, thank you for everything you did for the team. I'd like everybody to join me in giving him a round of applause. Thank you.
Before we say our final words tonight, just a few points of order. We would like to get all the inductees together for a picture. We'll pick a place, but don't run out of here just yet. Also, if you have any questions regarding the football game tomorrow, if you're inductees and their families, if you need to talk with Gretchen Whitebreck, she'll stay around after we're done here to answer any questions you may have about that. So this concludes our 2012 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We again want to thank the Aramark staff. If we can give a nice round of applause to the Aramark staff for their efforts tonight. Also, a big round of applause, please, for Gretchen Whitebrecht for all that she did for putting together this celebration this evening. I certainly want to thank everyone for their attendance this evening as witnesses to this ceremony that honored all of our exceptional inductees. So this concludes everything. Go Blue Streaks, beat Baldwin Wallace.